And deader than ever.
It's Tamara.
And Kelly.
And today, we're introducing a new segment.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited about it. We love this segment.
Love this segment.
It is our Roasted and Ghosted.
Yeah, and you know what that means? It means that we are going to shit talk, basically, whatever we want.
Yeah, I referenced this in our planning outside of this as like spooky adjacent.
Yeah.
So like maybe we'll talk about the Mothman.
For sure.
And how he should get a better wardrobe.
I agree.
We're going to roast the Mothman. So today we're going to be roasting and ghosting scary movie tropes.
Yeah, and this one is a great one to start with because, like, we all know the tropes. We all know what frustrates us. And also kind of like, okay, I will say it's not just shit talking because there's some on here that, like, work really well.
Yeah, and, like, if you listen to this podcast, you watch scary movies.
Yeah, if you don't watch scary movies, then you are just supporting us because you're our friends, and I do appreciate you.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who's listening to this that knows us personally.
Yeah, the only people. But
but everybody, like, I would say for the most part, you will have seen a scary movie that we're talking about.
Definitely.
But before then,
yes.
What are we sipping?
Yes, our roasts today are our classic Starbies.
From just like this tiny conglomerate called Starbucks.
Just like it used to be. I would say Starbucks used to be like Amazon in my brain. Like they were such a big company and it just felt like...
They're sisters.
They are sisters. They're mean. They're like the Cinderella sisters.
Yeah, Griselda.
Yeah. Ooh, what's the other one? The other one.
The other one.
But it's pumpkin spice season, and so we dabbled in
pumpkin cream cold brew,
which is my lifeblood. I will let you know.
Yeah, and you would know that if you followed us on Instagram.
Oh yeah, or Facebook
at ghoulbeanspodcast.
I'm
having my first pumpkin cream cold brew of this season. It is a beautiful gloomy day in September. It's like perfectly fall. Well, yeah, it's perfectly like summer transitioning into fall.
Yeah, like it's humid, but I'm gonna wear jeans.
Yeah, we're literally going to a bonfire later. It's a very Midwest day.
It always is for me.
For you, yeah, very. Well, for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little different.
I mean, it's not like I'm traipsing through cornfields.
No, I would love.
I would too. Actually, I wouldn't. If I lived near a cornfield, hell no.
I went to school near a bunch of cornfields. Jacobs was like surrounded.
You did? Oh my God. I babysat people that were right by a cornfield and they were like, oh, we just leave the door. Like this back door just stays open. You can close it if you want. The second they left, I closed it. I shut all the blinds, turned on every light.
Yeah. I mean, when we were growing up, I felt like we would just my house, the doors were never locked. Unless at night.
My front door was never locked. And now I hear, like, I listen to, obviously, like, true crime podcasts every once in a while. Mostly the ghosts. But, yeah. They always are like, I don't understand anyone who's ever had an unlocked door. And I'm like, I gotta speak with Judy because we did something wrong.
Well, I always thought it was because my family's from Texas, so, down there, they were from a small town. Everybody knew everybody. Or we were literally related to people that were coming.
For sure.
So I thought, oh, they just like brought that up. I don't actually think that was the case. Nobody I would go to my friends' houses and just walk right in.
Yeah, that's true. Like during the day, everything was open, but like now, I don't know. Seems risky.
Nowadays, I would absolutely.
I would never.
My door. We bought extra locks for my door. I don't know. Apartment's different.
It is different, but still. This is my like 4th pumpkin cream cold brew of the season.
You order yours with a little extra.
I do. I would order a cup of the cold foam if I could without judgment.
Okay, you gotta sacrifice something because you can order it. That could be yours.
I'm sacrificing that. I'm sacrificing ordering it. I don't want to go into a Starbucks. First of all, and pay for just like cream. And second of all, then drink the cream as I walk out.
I was like actually trying to think about how could we make that work. But you can just we make cold foam at the house.
I did try. It just didn't taste like the same because it's not the pumpkin stuff. And when I started working at Starbucks for like the second time back in Colorado, it was around like the end of that season. I
I know, you told me how many you consumed.
No, I would literally like a little bit of the bottom of the cup where that first ridge is, coffee, the rest cold. It was disgusting. I had stomach aches. I think I gained like 20 pounds.
What?
I was drinking cream. Pumpkin flavored cream.
Are you lactose?
No.
That sounds like my nightmare.
It was my dream. I was living my dream.
You might have made yourself lactose sensitive by drinking all
ice cream does
heavy
hurt.
cream.
Ice cream hurts a little bit now every once in a while.
Oh, for sure.
I remember the first time that happened, I was like, what's happening to me? I might throw up.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I did.
I get like the mucus.
Yeah.
Not to... Sorry, guys. We're familiar right now.
For sure.
This is episode 3. You're going to have to get over it.
We said we're talking about anything we want in this episode.
And we are about to get into the movie tropes. What's the first one on the docket?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, we didn't... 10 out of 10 for pumpkin cream cold brew.
I didn't have to rate it. They knew. What am I going to give it?
If you've never had... Am I going to lie?
Pumpkin cream cold brews are delicious. And I am a pumpkin spice latte hater.
Me too, actually. I just don't like allspice like that.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I forced myself in adulthood to start really enjoying pumpkin flavored things because my birthday's in November. Mm-hmm. You know, I really wanted to have a full-blown fall experience, and everybody seems to be really enjoying themselves off of this pumpkin.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be part of the pumpkin lovers. I don't know if I'm a pumpkin lover. I'm a pumpkin enjoyer.
I'm a pumpkin appreciator.
Yeah, I can sample a little pump, but I'm not like, give me pumpkin pie yet.
For sure. Honestly, I don't like apple cider, but an apple cider donut, that flavor and other things. Cider. That is
not
better.
Hot apple cider. I like cold apple cider.
I don't like hot apple cider. I've never had. Is that just apple juice? I like it. I love apple juice.
It's literally, I think it's hot apple juice and cinnamon, basically.
See, I don't like it hot.
Things. I don't know if there's any apple cider purists out there, but that's what it gives. It gives hot apple juice, and honestly, that's fine because I like the cold version.
For sure. No, I would drink if it's just cinnamon apple juice. I would absolutely drink that. But the hot, it's
whenever
we
go to our local pumpkin patch, we will have you sample an apple cider.
Can you make this cold? Can I have it on ice?
Can actually you ice it? I'm gonna be get the hell out of here. Ma'am, this is Richardson's.
Juice bag.
Leave.
Okay, yeah. 10 out of 10. Get it while it's hot.
Obviously.
It's in season till Christmas, so.
And you can make it at home, but it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Oh, well, actually, I don't know. Just dip a straw in the blender. Anyway.
Disgusting. Anyway.
So yes, the movie tropes. There's a few of them we're gonna go through, but we're gonna start off with one of the most frustrating, in my opinion. There's a couple on here that really are frustrating. The first one is ignorant man doesn't believe his wife/partner, and also ignorant parents don't believe their kids.
I feel like this is, obviously the classic example is that the dad goes into the house that is so obviously haunted.
Right, he bought it. He was like, I have a great surprise for you.
Of course.
The mom loved her home. She made it. She painted it. Yeah. Everything's great. And he's like, by the way, we're moving.
Yeah, and the kids hate him now. And the dog's already barking.
Yeah.
They're unpacking and the dog is screaming.
For sure.
That's weird. Sally never acts like this. And
he's like, their dog Sally.
I'm sure one of the movies in this list. But an example of this would
definitely a golden retriever, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously, it's a beautiful golden retriever. Mm-hmm. Piles out of the car.
Yeah.
They're like, where'd Sally go? Oh, that dog.
Barking at the forest that we live in now.
I know, and it's never a short little move up the block.
They're never on a beach. It's never Malibu.
No, it's never Malibu. It's the Smoky Hills. It's literally Smoky Mountains. They're in the corners of the earth. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe Forks, Washington.
They had to drive a mile to get from the road to their house. Their driveway is a mile.
And the kids have to get homeschooled.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing nearby. But as much as I'm roasting it, I also have to say that I do think that this is kind of one of the more critical tropes to have in a movie.
For sure.
If you don't have some bumbling idiot being nope, this is what we're doing now. None of these characters would be forced into a situation.
For sure. Like, if this happened to me, I told Matt, because he used to be this trope, honestly. He was like, I don't believe in ghosts. It's the wind.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I want you to know the second I have any inkling, like, you are alone in this house forever. I'll live with anyone else.
I'm not a ride or die.
No.
I'll ride and you can die.
Listen, if you think the shadow man in the corner is the tree branch, I'm out.
Yeah, that's grounds for divorce, honestly.
Have fun in our marital bed with the top hat man.
With the Babadook. That's not gonna be me. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Don't say anything to me.
Some examples of this trope in a movie, I just feel like we should.
For sure.
Would be, let's see, Hereditary.
Incredible. She's mourning, so obviously anything she's experiencing is purely fake and fictional in her head.
Yeah.
How can she be trusted? She's a woman.
She's a woman. She's crying.
Right.
She's embarrassing.
It's dramatic and I'm over it.
And the faces and the faces she's making are just like so intense. Like she just is hysterical.
First she lost her mom, then she lost her kid. How can I trust what she's doing?
Her mom, who was also a cult leader.
Damn, though, when she was crying with like when the girl died, like
the spit
was so strong.
Yeah.
I was like, that's real.
And she didn't get nominated for shit. Like, how is that possible? Not to trudge up drama from 2018, but it's the truth. It is, and I'll stand by it. Also, another example would be the movie The Last Exorcism.
Mm-hmm.
The ignorant man in this case is like low-key the lead character.
Yeah.
He's the priest, he's a priest, or he's pretending to still believe in anything. He has lost his faith, and the whole thing is that he's putting on a show that he's exorcising this girl who definitely needs an exorcism. That also has cult storyline.
Yeah.
She like gets sacrificed at the end, and then there's like a cult literally like sacrificing her and like ripping her demon baby out.
And it's like, this trope is just so dangerous. Okay, it's great. It does drive a plot line. It also creates isolation, which is like key in haunting stories. But it's so dangerous on top of isolating whoever's like experiencing this. It's also like that man is usually not just like, oh, you're crazy, I hate you. They're also like, I'll prove it to you. Do something, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Or like pretending to exorcise someone, like,
Right.
for sure that's probably going to make things worse, I would have to say.
Right. Like, we as the audience know that's what we signed up for. But in that very specific case of The Last Exorcism, if you already don't believe that something's inside of her,
right,
then it's not dangerous to you. You're like offering a placebo effect.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of, and I just thought of this, it's not even on our list, Us, the dad doesn't, she keeps saying like there's all these like synchronicities, you know, it's very weird. She at one point is like begging him to listen to her, and like they're alone in the bed, I think, or like they're in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And that's cut to the daughter being like, there's people in the driveway. Which is honestly an incredible scene, by the way. If you haven't seen Us, that scene is really powerful. And
are you okay?
we're gonna have to cut this out.
Oh, keep that in there.
No.
That's gonna be before the intro.
But yeah, that scene made me grab onto my partner in the movie theater. I was like, because that's kind of what you think, like, well, me anyway. Again, what did we say? Who are you gonna call? Not us. Somebody else.
Not
because
me.
when I would take out the garbage in my old home, my house was on, and I think you had been there maybe once or twice, a 90-degree slope. So me dragging the garbage down was fast as shit.
Yeah.
But sprinting up my driveway, I swear I developed calves of steel, because I would be like, boom, and like bing up the stairs.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, up the driveway, so that, because I was convinced that someone was waiting for me to release the trash can to attack me. Mm-hmm. They could have attacked me with a trash can, but something about
probably
like,
better at that time, really.
Yeah, it would be a better time to do it, but they never did. But
thank goodness.
And I'm here to tell the tale.
But I agree. I think that it's important to the story. That's why it's a trope. All these are here for a reason. They've worked. But it's just really frustrating to watch because, well, I guess it's the point. Like, I'm obviously watching a scary movie to watch, like, this horrible man act this way and these people to get haunted. But, like, in my head, I'm like, this could all be avoided.
yeah. I also feel like it's familiar enough of a trope. Obviously, it's, like, one of the more famous and more common ones.
Yeah.
That we can... Well, I'll speak for myself, but, like, as the audience, I'm like, okay, this guy's a stupid idiot.
For sure. Like, you immediately know he's a throwaway character.
Yeah, he's a throwaway character, or he's the reason they're in this situation to begin with, or, yada, yada, yada. Let me get scared.
I think definitely, like, there's some movies where the dad is not an idiot. Or, like, something where he's like, oh, my God, what did you experience? Like, that's horrifying. Oh, yeah. And I'm like... Where's this movie going?
Yeah.
I think in The Conjuring, actually, like, it's not that he like believes, right? It's not that he doesn't believe. He's just like, his job takes him away. But then, like, when he comes back, he's like not the one, but he's very much like, yeah, stuff's happening here. And like, even that, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, it's not a classic thing. To go along with that with the kids, like, that's kind of in a lot of the older, like, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, where, like, where children aren't believed. And that, like, cuts to the core, because, like, children in real life aren't believed for, like, shit. It's always, oh, you got an overactive imagination and blah, blah, blah. Cut to a man standing on the driveway. And right. Like, why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you let me know, Johnny? I do think that nowadays that trope has taken on such a different... I mean, not taken on a different, but it's just so known. Yeah. That nowadays, when you hear stories of, like, parents being like, oh my gosh, little Katie said this to me last night.
For
like,
sure.
Oh, I hope it's not a ghost in the house. So I do think that, like, nowadays, especially maybe parents who are, like, millennial parents.
Who are definitely who are listening to our podcast.
The millennial parents listening to this podcast. If they heard their kid being like, I have a friend that lives under my bed.
Looks like you're putting yourself to sleep tonight.
Oh, you do? Okay, I have to set your room on fire.
Oh, we're moving immediately. There's no inspection. I'm never looking under the bed. I'm never looking. The same family that I babysat for, she said, she was like, I was like, oh, it's time to go to sleep. And,
oh, God.
She was like, I don't like my room. Like, I'm going to sleep in mommy's room tonight. And I was like, okay. Like, she already warned me that they sleep there sometimes. And I was like, and this woman she had the money. Oh. And so it was a great house.
Paying well.
She was. Well, she was not paying well, but she got paid well. I think I got $5 an hour.
What?
No, it was horrible. There were 3 kids, and it was haunted. It was a not great situation. I only went once. I only babysat once.
That is so... How desperate for a little cash.
I know. Oh, when you're, like, 13.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, I was just like, oh, it's like, why don't you like your room? It's so nice in here, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I just don't like the guys that live in the closet. And I was like, why don't we go play downstairs?
You're like, so everybody stand up.
So I'm going to need everyone to form a single file line.
And we're getting out. Actually, I'm going to let myself out.
You're going to follow me, and we're going to run as fast as we can.
Yeah. That's exactly what I would have done.
No, yeah, it was horrible. So yeah. I agree. Why don't you pick another trope?
Okay.
Which one's your fave?
I really like the unhinged woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the unhinged woman is... I mean, if I tell you the movie Midsommar, you should know exactly what the unhinged woman is. And speaking of Midsommar, good for her. That's a good for her movie, in my opinion.
For sure.
I know the argument that's like, well, no, it's supposed to be that if you said good for her, then you would have fallen into the trap of the cult. No. I think that her boyfriend deserved to die.
He was trash from the beginning.
He was horrible.
She did not have a bestie looking out for her.
She didn't have a bestie. She didn't have family looking out for her.
Didn't they all die, right?
Her sister, killed herself with the car or something like that. Yeah. So, basically... At the end, whenever she's the May Queen and she's smiling into the camera. Oh my God. She is the epitome of the unhinged woman. Yeah. But that's kind of what makes the movie. Is at the end, is like, are you rooting for her or were you like, she's crazy?
For sure.
So another example of that movie would be The Witch. Mm. I love The Witch. Mm-hmm. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I understand that it's like not super horrifying.
Yeah, it's not jump scares and stuff, and I think that's good to know that like not all scary movies have to be. Like sometimes a scary movie's great when you're lying in bed and you're like, honestly, I'm disgusted right now.
Yes, I do think that it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I think that the coloring in that movie is incredible. I like the voice of Black Phillip. Mm-hmm. That I cannot butter a single piece of toast without muttering that line. You know the one. But she is a witch, right? Mm-hmm, but the whole time she's like, I'm not. She doesn't know it yet, but she does want to indulge in that.
Yeah.
And all of these events, I mean, when the baby disappears in front of her.
Yeah.
You know,
oh my God. I just got chills.
I know. That is one of the more scary scenes, and so that should go to show you if you've never seen The Witch, that one of the scariest scenes is this one you've already seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I would not go into that movie hoping to get like scared out of my mind. Mm-hmm. But to me it is a scary movie.
For sure. It's the story, you know? And, like, kind of like with what we were talking about, the other trope, that's more of, like, I already know what I'm watching. Like, I've watched the same scary movie 500 times.
Yeah, it's different.
The Witch is not that. Yeah.
It's different, and it's like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
And more than that really, you know, well, it's roasted and ghosted. I can say whatever I want. I was going to talk about how that launched Anya Taylor-Joy's
Absolutely.
career.
And God bless her. I love her.
And she was in Split.
I know.
So she really has like one of her feet in horror.
She does. And she was in another movie where she's like I don't think her friend is kind of a sociopath and like convinces her to murder.
Oh, that's right.
It's a really good movie. It was like wild.
I
highly recommend.
I'll have to watch that one. Another example, the Babadook.
I know, and like you can tell too. You can tell because the Babadook, correct me if I'm wrong, like is the epitome of just like her anxiety and her stuff, right?
It's like her depression.
Yeah, and like you can feel it. That scene when her kid's in the car screaming,
they
like,
did that so well.
I lose my mind, and like
I can't have
beautiful.
Children.
No, it's beautiful.
That
scene was like, okay, maybe I'll just get a cat.
It was so realistic. I don't have kids, but I have worked with children since I was one. I mean, at one point I was like running a summer camp for like 400 kids. I can tell you with conviction how accurate that little boy's, I don't know how to say it, representation of conflict in the car.
Yeah, just
his shrill voice and him repeating himself. I would have gotten... And she clearly is getting so overloaded sensory-wise. Yeah. And you can feel it, and you can see it, and you, like, experience it yourself. And, like... bring me the boy. Yeah! Stop! I just, like, that is a really good one as well. I think it's a great example. Because she is, I mean, for lack of a better way of saying it, she is losing her mind. And it is manifesting in... The Babadook. Right. Another great movie that isn't... Actually, you know what? I was genuinely horrified with The Babadook. Yeah. I was going to say it's not that scary. It is really scary. No, yeah. I think it's dope. I think it's dope that to represent like something so oppressive as like depression, anxiety, dealing with a child on your own after her husband dies or leaves her. Yeah. On the child's birthday. Yeah. So the kid can't celebrate the birthday. Yeah. So there's just like so much going on, which I've definitely like seen in real life of people just like can't cope with that kind of thing. So to manifest it in a horror movie where there's like a physical representation of that horrifying feeling of just being overwhelmed and depressed and stuff, like, I think it's awesome. I think it's so cool because you like watch it and you're like, maybe it's not that scary, but it's like, well, have you ever been so depressed and anxiety ridden that you literally like feel like a monster is attacking you because, well, it happens. And it's so stylized. Mm-hmm. Like it's a very, I mean, a storybook, really. Yeah. And there's a scene where they're in their bed, which is to me easily the worst scene. The noises that are coming out of the Babadook are so disturbing and so different than any other noises I've heard monsters make in scary movies that it sounds so unnatural, inhuman, inorganic, but at the same time organic enough that it's obviously a being.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't even know how to describe, and the voice that they give it whenever it's in her head.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think Unhinged Woman, unlike the ignorant man trope, I think it's really cool because
Me too.
It is, because
I'm an unhinged woman.
because I relate.
Yeah, I mean,
no, but because it's scary. It's not scary because there's a ghost or a demon or someone trying to murder you. It's scary because it's like making you think about like, oh, it's actually inside of me, you know?
Yeah, and I think that women in general, and again, women listening, I'm not speaking for you, or maybe I am, whatever. But the unhinged woman, to me, it's not, I mean, it's so far from reality, but actually not that far.
For sure. I mean, like we were saying, ignorant man, like, without Hereditary, she was grieving. Mm-hmm. Like, there was some shit going on as well.
I mean, granted, there are examples of it being way out of, like, Lights Out.
Lights Out. I mean, for sure.
we watched that. That's a movie we watched together in the theater.
Yeah.
With a bunch of other people.
Just, like, claw marks on each other's arms.
I'll tell you this. Watching it outside of the theater, not that scary. Watching it in the theater, it's so immersive.
Yeah. And it just, like, hits on a lot of creepy stuff that you're like, wouldn't it be scary if it was just like, oh, it is creepy. It's a creepy genre.
that actually leads us into another trope of the silent scare.
Oh my god, the silent scare. Okay, I feel like we were supposed to be roasting this. We're just like, we love these
I roasted
things.
the shit out of them ignorant
For
men.
sure. I'm always gonna roast the shit out of an ignorant man. But the silent scare I love because it goes completely against the jump scare, which like is what you expect in the movie. You expect the music to lead up, which is a trope we got rid of.
But also no hate to jump scares.
No, we love, like, that's why you originally like watch a scary movie.
I think they can be overdone.
I think so too, and like that's why I think it's fun when like we were talking about the mirror and like the fridge door, like how it was so overdone that it started to be like, that's how they build tension, and you close the fridge door and no one's there, and you're like, okay.
You guys know what we're talking about, like whenever somebody's in the bathroom and they wipe the mirror.
For sure.
And you're like, someone's gonna be there. Like you say it to your friend sitting next to you in the theater, and then no one's there, and you're like, oh wow, they got me this time.
Okay, but next time they're gonna turn around and like someone's gonna be standing there, like you know.
Yeah.
But the silent scare is the complete antithesis of that, where the person is like washing dishes or doing anything mundane. They could even be like looking outside for the murderer, and like whatever is happening or whatever creepy thing is following them is just like standing in the background, to the point where like it could be blurred out, it could be whatever. It's like that's when you like smack your friend. You're like, do you see them? They're in the back. They're in the back.
I think one of the more recent prime examples of that is Hereditary.
Yeah.
When Hereditary fits in a lot of these tropes, guys. So you're going to be hearing Hereditary quite a bit. Is whenever it's just that wide landscape shot of the house at night, and there's all the naked people just like around the house. Mm-hmm. Actually, that happens quite a few times when the son is in. They might be in the attic. I can't remember it all the way. But there's like naked cult members behind him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're just standing there. That's a great example. My favorite scary movie all time, every time, The Strangers. Like they pull that shit, and I love it. Like,
let's not forget that in The Strangers, they go up to the house and go, "Is Tamara home?"
For sure.
I'm like, "I'm Tamara.
I'm not there. Don't tell them."
My name is really not that common where I'm at. So, I mean, it might be common where you're at, but it's not common where I'm at. So, when I originally watched that movie with my childhood best friend, Robin, we watched that together, and the lead character, or the lead scary lady goes, "Is Tamara home?" Mm-hmm. And Robin, she screamed and she goes, "She's right here, bitch!" She's not there.
I love that movie.
But that is an incredible
movie. It's incredible. I love the premise of that, of just like it happened because they happened to be home. Like that's the scariest thing in the world. Because humans are the scariest evil, honestly.
That line always makes me think of, and it might be intentional, but it always makes me think of The Craft.
Okay.
Like, we are the weirdos, mister.
Yeah.
It's just like, it is because it is.
Literally. Like, no other reason than it's happening right now.
Like, we're hunting you for sport because we want to.
Right.
Not because
it could have been your neighbors if only you weren't here tonight. You know what I mean? It's that scary shit, which is like and literally every murder. Oh my god, stop.
So effective.
Yeah, and that's literally, she's like washing dishes or something, and he's just like standing in like the entryway, and then like it shows, she like looks down, and then it shows back up, and he's gone. And it's like, that's so great. The TV oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, not to step on you.
No, please, you didn't.
I was gonna say that something that I forgot to mention in Hereditary is when Annie, the mom, is in the corners.
Stop. I hate it.
She's like levitating in the corner. And
yeah.
Either you see her or you don't. I think, in my opinion, it looks like they want you to decide whether or not she's there.
For sure, because there's a point where, like, she crawls, like, in the air, and, like, that looked a little hokey to me, but, like, realistically, it's just, like, you gotta be in the vibe of the movie, and then you're scared. But, like, when she is literally just, like, I think they're downstairs or something, and she's, like, levitating in the corner. It is one of those, like, if you were looking down, grabbing popcorn, like, you missed it. Like, there was no music to be like, dun dun, and then pan the camera there.
I was going to say it's underutilized. I actually don't think so. I think that directors and scary movie makers, especially, I'm going to say Jordan Peele, is really starting to redefine what it is to be a scary movie.
For sure.
Because we've mentioned Us already. Us is another one that's not super scary the whole time. But there is gore. There is tension. There is genuinely fear.
For sure.
And the whole concept is disgusting.
Right, exactly.
His are more like conceptual, like the idea of people living in tunnels underneath us.
For sure, that you're tethered to. Like, I haven't seen Nope or anything, but I do, I agree that, like, he's a very concept person of, like, yeah, I'll put some jump scares in, yeah, I'll put some gross stuff in, but, like, think about it. And you're like, also, I don't want to think about it, actually.
Actually, I'm going to do my best.
I'm good.
I'm going to watch SpongeBob when I get home.
For sure. But yeah, another shout out for that, just because, again, like, Stranger is my favorite. Haunting of Hill House is like a limited series on Netflix.
I'm sure a lot of you have seen it.
For sure. If you haven't, you should. I highly recommend it always to everyone I can. But it does a great job. Like, every scene, every episode has, like, at least, like, 10 or 15 ghosts just, like, standing in the background. They live in a haunted house, obviously. But yeah, it's one of those fun ones where you're like, did you see that thing? Like, the thing's face is, like, underneath the stairs, and you're like, no, I was looking at the one behind the statue. It's like, you can go back and, like, see ghosts you haven't seen before, and I think they just did a really cool job, because it's like, if you're just looking at the character, you might not be scared, but if you're like, wait, what the hell is that? Like, then you might be more scared than the person you're with.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You really liked Haunting of Hill House.
I did. Well, it's based on the movie of, it's based on the book. I read it. It's really good, but they did their own twist, and they just did such a good job. Like, beautiful camera work, beautiful cinematography. Like, everything was gorgeous. The actors did great.
What is her name, that lead actress? She plays Love.
Yeah, she's in a lot.
I really like her.
I love her. She does great. Very beautiful, very sweet. There's all the women in that movie, in that show are beautiful.
She's kind of like a modern Liv Tyler.
Yeah, which I do not like Liv Tyler, but she's in The Strangers.
You don't like?
I don't like Liv Tyler. Opinion. I just like, I can't stand the way she talks.
Is she like a Gwyneth Paltrow to you?
I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, I knew it. You kind of fall in the same vein.
She like talks like her mouth is wired shut, and I just want her to like express more.
Well, how do you feel about Drew Barrymore?
I love Drew Barrymore.
She also kind of talks.
She does, but I got so many memories with her.
Oh,
personal.
The early 2000s.
Exactly.
Were her era. I mean, it's still her era. She's blowing up on TikTok.
She's amazing.
Which we also have a TikTok that we are going to start posting on. Please follow us. It's ghoulbeanspodcast on TikTok. Ghoulbeanspodcast was ticket.
By who?
Actually, I don't think they let me use it because it was like our account got flagged because they thought we were impersonating somebody.
Oh.
Yeah. That probably happens a lot.
Interesting.
But sidebar, speaking of Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
we were my partner and I were at a farmer's market last week, and a random lady came up to me and started to like try to make. I'm sure she was drunk. Actually, I know she was drunk, but regardless, she was very kind. And then she kept calling me Drew Barrymore.
Oh.
I don't look like Drew Barrymore.
I did not think you looked like Drew Barrymore, but no. High praise.
High praise. And you've only seen the sheet, and I promise you, under the sheet, it does not look like Drew Barrymore.
Under the sheet. Get to know me about what's underneath the sheet.
Maybe it's not about the sheet.
It's not about the sheet. It's what's underneath, and it's not Drew
Barrymore. It's not Drew Barrymore.
Okay, so that was Silent Scare. Let's do another one that we hate. Let's get into one that we hate. I love that. Which one?
Oh, I know one.
Do it.
The tech not working.
Stop. That's the one where you're like, are you kidding me?
I know. But you know what? That's another one. I hate it, and I think that we need to figure out a way out of it, because I understand that, like, it's kind of necessary. You know, Blair Witch Project had to happen in 94. First, because in 98, it wouldn't
made more sense.
Yeah. Like that. We have to stop setting things in the Smoky Mountains of Kentucky, like I said earlier. we know we're going to have signal, right?
Right. I want the ghosts or the demons or
to possess my phone.
I want them to work harder. No, you're not just gonna unplug my battery from my car.
Know.
Like, get me while I'm driving away. And it's not because I'm like reckless and driving into a tree, because I feel like that falls under the same category.
Oh, of like ruining your transportation?
For sure. They like get into the car and they're like, oh, okay, let's go. And then like 2 feet away.
The car doesn't start?
Yeah.
That's part of that.
No, I know.
When they get in their car that was perfectly operable.
For sure.
2019 Honda Accord. And they're trying to pull away and it's like,
right.
Are you kidding me?
For sure.
It makes me get out of the movie, actually.
Yeah, at least some movies like work a little harder and they're like, oh, like someone ripped the spark plugs out. And so you're like, okay, well, at least it makes sense.
Someone stole my catalytic converter. Sorry, I'm in Chicago. And it's a little too close to home. Not speaking from personal experience. But it does happen, so I'm not going to say it doesn't happen.
Like, that at least is something. But even that trope, like, I want it to be better. I don't know. I do agree.
I want you to get in your car and he's already in there. Exactly. Like, that's such an easy solve to me.
For sure.
And it is a genuine fear. Like, I know 90% of us get in our car either early in the morning or late at night and we check in the back seat before.
For sure. I like better yet. I want you to check in your back seat. I want you to check in your trunk and like you're walking around the door and he grabs your legs underneath. Yeah. Like, that's like something where I'm like, oh man, now I gotta check in my car too.
Like, Us has a scene like that.
Yeah.
With the car. Yeah, like the tethered girl, the tethered girl to the little girl Zora.
Yeah.
I don't remember her tethered name because they had weird tethered names.
They did.
But she is like unhinged and trying to come after this character and like gets on the top of the car.
Oh yeah.
And she's like standing there and she's like a track star in real life, so her tethered is really fast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you can solve so much.
Yeah.
The quick evil with a quickness.
Yeah.
Makes.
I don't need no Mike Myers walking slow. Like, no. You gotta be faster than me, because you know what? I am a slow runner. For real, that's a legitimate fear. I'm like, if they've got any kind of athleticism, I will die.
If it comes to cardio, I'm simply gonna pass away. I will choose death because I'm gonna lose.
For sure. At least I could like fight if I don't try to run away. But if I try to run and then I'm like winded.
I'm winded and my phone doesn't have service. Come on. I hate the decision to split up.
Yeah.
I understand that's also another like.
It's like poor decisions. This one was like poor decisions and technology not working. Like, it's gotta happen, right? But it also doesn't. Like, work harder.
Work harder, and we can stop, even though we know that, like, this old oaky smoky times, as Trixie Mattel likes to say, in the old oaky smoky days, we have to stop setting shit in that time just to have the excuse of not having technology. Although, like, now we associate that with being creepy.
Right.
Like,
that's true.
You're gonna set a movie in Gettysburg. I know, you're not gonna have phones.
You're gonna communicate. Paul Revere isn't coming to save me.
Ghost Paul Revere? Headless Horseman! Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. dun. But movies that fall into this, we already mentioned the Blair Witch Project. Mm-hmm. That man in that movie is the root of all evil. He had the map.
For sure. Oh, no, for sure. He's the Blair Witch.
He's an apprentice. For sure.
Bitch.
For sure he was whittling those little stick things.
Definitely. He's like, I gotta pee. Like he was a UTI or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Bill's gotten up to pee like 100 times. And there's 99 of those stick things. So the math ain't mathing. And then he picks them up. That's a poor decision. Touching things that are obviously should not be touched.
This looks like a cursed object. Let me just like rub it against my face.
And they do. And they put it in their pocket. They're like, memorabilia.
From my time in the woods.
We don't even, and the whole like, I don't know, I think we've been walking in circles. Mm-hmm. What do you mean we've been walking in circles?
You the one who knows. Ain't no moss growing on these trees. Like
I don't know if it's said explicitly, but it has to be that the woods are shifting or something.
Yeah.
Because me personally, that would not have occurred to me.
No.
I would have been marking the trees.
Yeah.
It simply wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Because I used to play in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I did not come from we didn't come from a super busy area. Well, back in the day, back in Okie Smoky times. But now it's a little hustle and bustle. But literally, you described I believe the first episode that behind you used to be just cornfield.
Yeah.
Or just fields.
I was like a babe, but yeah.
Well, still. And when I was a kid, literally, my house is on a 3/4 acre of land.
Yeah.
So we're surrounded. It was pretty private. Like, I couldn't look into the yards of everybody else because there's like tree line. Mm-hmm. And then I grew up across the street. Across the street from my elementary school, which was in the woods essentially. Yeah. So I remember watching it and being like, these people are idiots.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be the idiot. I feel like worse off, I wouldn't notice we were walking in circles. I'd be out there for miles.
My God.
You'd be like, that rock looks familiar. I'd be like, they all look the same.
Looks like a rock to
There's
me.
been boulders for days out here.
You would actually, you would be the one to be like,
the woods scare me. I will say, like...
let's not even go in.
No, for sure. Like, the woods at night is a fear I didn't know I had until I was placed there. Mm. And it's just like...
I love the woods.
See, and I love the woods during the day. They feel magical. They feel beautiful. I want to walk. I want to talk. In the middle of the night, I want to be very far away from the woods, or if I'm in the woods, I want to be
coastline.
Yeah.
By the lake.
Yeah. My camping in the woods is like my car is right next to my campsite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in any position to be like hiking to a camp spot and like digging holes for toilets. Like I'm not there. I also don't want to be there.
I don't want to be there either. So I definitely think like as far as like woods goes, I would be the guy that's like, I don't know. Let's just keep going that way, I think.
Actually, you'd be the guy to be like, I'm not going in.
For sure. I would never be a part of the I'd be like, call me when you're done.
Yeah, I'll stay here and flag down a car.
I'll write up the report about...
I'll start editing.
Exactly. I'm actually busy, guys. My mom said I can't go, so...
Yeah.
Bummer.
And I don't really want to.
I so wanted to, but like I just can't come this weekend.
You know what? Maybe next weekend.
Next weekend for sure.
And I'll pick the woods.
And it'll be in my backyard.
Yeah. We'll do backyard camping.
I don't think the Blair Witch travels. I think she's a visitor. Yeah.
She's got her reward points for sure.
Yeah, no, that car thing is...
But Blair Witch also falls into a different trope.
Okay. Which one is that?
Evil doesn't die.
Everything. Oh my God. Evil doesn't die. That one's frustrating.
I don't like Evil doesn't die.
Evil doesn't die.
Well, sometimes.
Here's the thing. I like a scary movie where the bad guy wins because it's scary, right? Mm. I don't like when the people feel victorious and then like they look out and he's not lying on the ground anymore.
Oh
like,
my God.
That's the trope. That's the evil doesn't die.
Put
where
that
I'm
thing
like,
back
what
where it came from. So help me. So help me.
It's like It's like literally like you shot this guy 3 times in the head.
In the chest?
Or when they refuse to shoot him, when they're like holding like a gun over them.
That.
Yeah, no. Headshot.
I mean, it's not even, or
like it's a demon. It's a murderer.
Or they know the gun doesn't work and they do it anyway.
For sure.
He is impervious to bullets.
Yeah. I just I can't stand, like, if you give me a movie where, like, the bad guy's like, haha, gotcha again, like, okay, I'm scared. Yeah. I don't like when bad guys win, so that scares me. But when you're like, everyone's like, oh, we finally made it through, and they're all patting on the back, and, like, the police officer's like, where's the guy that you were talking about? First of all, why didn't you come 3 hours ago? I don't know. I don't have a very, like, respect for police officers in movies. They show up, like, 3 hours. They show up, like, 3 hours after everything happens, and they're like, there's traffic.
3 hours, or they're the ignorant man.
They are. They're like, you guys, you're crazy, as, like, the murderer's pulling away in the squad car.
This is our 4th time coming out this week. Like, yeah, because I'm being terrorized.
It's also literally your job.
Right.
I don't get to go to wherever and be like...
I think that happens in Paranormal Activity. Like, they call a cop or something, and they're like, well, it looks fine.
Does it? Does it look fine?
But that, Evil Doesn't Die, that is it. I mean, we know because we got It too.
Any sequel you're going to find
Evil Doesn't Die. Conjuring prides themselves on the evil being very well and alive.
For sure.
The evil is on keto. The evil is looking after, watching their weight. Like,
they're really into cardio. Halloween is an old one, and they're still making them, so that's past the
no
sequel.
shade to Jamie Lee Curtis.
We love a Jamie Lee. We don't like
Jamie
watching
Lee, I know
the
you're
Saints.
listening. Jamie,
Miss Curtis. We don't like the Michael. I'm not a fan of Michael.
You mean
Mr. Myers?
Will Shatner?
Yeah. Michael and Will Shatner's face.
Yeah.
That's actually. But no, yeah. It's like, I don't like, because he's the epitome of, like, broken glass on the ground when he, like, literally got, like, hit by a bulldozer going 30. You know what I mean?
He was smashed by a steamroller and has reinflated and is sprinting at full capacity. There's no way in hell.
Yeah, no. That's
I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Oh, all the old ones. Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street has
classics, though.
They are classics, and those have paranormal like versions.
Undertones.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, kind of makes more sense, but it's also like, you're just making 13 of the same movie. And I will watch it, but I'm not happy.
Right. It's an obvious money grab. And I'm giving it to you.
Yeah. That's why I kind of can't believe that Halloween is still, like, making movies. Because they're all really bad.
Let Jamie Lee get a check. Don't be worried about her business.
Jamie Lee's not hurting.
Jamie Lee Curtis is in her bag. And I stand by it. Oh, The Ritual. Sorry, I'm, like, looking on our list off camera.
The Ritual.
Off camera like we're on camera. Maybe one day. Do you guys want to see that?
Off microphone? Do you want to see the sheets?
You could be in a sheet. It's going to get hot. I'm not going to try to be... do you want to see me unsheeted? Sheetless?
I mean, that's a different...
Is it?
It's like you can start OnlyFans on sheetless.
Well... I wish you guys could have seen the look we gave each other. Maybe I'm in my sheet bag.
The Ritual.
The Ritual. Have you seen The Ritual?
Yeah.
That one, I hope I'm not misremembering, but the evil doesn't die in that because the disgusting elk beast lives on, right?
He does live on. And that one was a good one. Also traipsing through the woods. Traipsing through, like, the mountainside of... Where were they?
Scandinavia.
Like,
I don't know. And that's also, like... In the beginning, it's a little bit of ignorant man-ish.
It is. No, yeah.
Because they're like, this is weird, and then they start to get picked off one by one.
Honestly, that was a pretty good scary movie.
Yeah, I
highly rated.
I was disturbed by that movie.
I was. And then...
If you wanted to have, like, a movie weekend, you could do The Ritual and Midsommar.
Ooh, yeah.
Little
Same vibes.
Yeah.
Same vibes. You use Scandinavia.
Yeah, Scandinavian.
That's me. Running through the field.
Oh, it's so graceful. I wish I could have seen it. Do you guys want to see it? Please let us know.
Oh, what else? Oh, the other one that we didn't really talk about, which is good and bad. Which I don't know if we can do more, but it's a trope inside a trope, which is the character tropes of a scary movie.
Oh yeah, we can talk about it. We can go a little over.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's good because it's like all of these really stem from the old scary movies that like
they kind
put
of
it into place. Yeah, and then newer scary movies, they either follow it or they make fun of it. I feel like.
Or they like do obviously like the whole thing is that you have to just keep doing variations of that kind of.
Yeah, and so I keep saying my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, but
I mean, we have a podcast for a reason. We love scary.
We love scary, and Cabin in the Woods is such a fun movie. Have you ever seen Cabin in the Woods?
I think so.
You should absolutely see it if you've never seen it. It literally makes fun of all horror movie tropes, and so the really fun one that they touch on, one of them, is the character tropes of like they have a bunch of people come together and all of a sudden they like are starting to act like classic horror movie tropes, like the jock who is a meathead and like offensive
and is no help at all, but is also not the evil.
Right, like you hate him and you don't mind when he dies, but like you also suspect that he could be the murderer, but you know he's not.
Or oppositely, it's like the jock who's just kind of like looks like he's like herp derp, like I'm just here, and he's actually the killer.
For sure.
Which is kind of
Scream. Yeah.
He's not necessarily like a jock. Oh
no, I don't think he's a jock.
No.
But he is like the
athletic-ish.
The male tension there. But yeah, and you have like the girl who has sex, so she's obviously going to die.
And the virgin who lives.
Yeah, like the final girl. And yes, and then like the comedic relief who also is gonna die and who's probably a minority, so they're dying first. Like,
oh, that's another one.
Classic. So like I think
the minority that gets killed off either first or will never make it to the end.
At this point, it's like not even like it's still happening.
Yeah, I know.
And it's such a trope that you would think one movie would be like, maybe we shouldn't do that, guys.
I mean, The Shining did it.
Yeah, The Shining did it, but like I don't even know.
I think Child's Play, they did it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I deleted it. There was like a recent movie where like it's just so stupid, you know? Like I don't. Whatever.
We don't need to tell you.
Right.
You guys know that that's like one of the. To me, that's one of the tropes that I hate the most.
But that one's not even like a trope that like because they make fun like I said, some scary movies will make fun of tropes in a way where they'll like really lean into it, but people don't even lean into that one. It's just still like a racist trope that's happening.
Evil Dead, I think they do that.
Yeah. But
the comedic relief is also the one where you're like, I bet it's that guy.
For sure.
And it kind of almost I feel like it is pretty frequently.
Yeah. But yeah, so usually I think like it's always fun when you get a scary movie that kind of goes against that, where you're like, I honestly have no idea who the killer is or whatever. Or like, everyone's really smart and knows what to do, and it's not like the final girl isn't the only one who's like, guys, aren't things kind of weird that's happening? Like, everyone's like, yeah, maybe we should stay here in our tent and wait for the sun to come out. Instead of all separating into different directions.
Do you guys just want to, like, recite the Lord's Prayer?
Do you want to take a quick moment for some like deep breaths and inhales?
I think I need some Hail Marys before I can do anything else.
Did you guys want to like leave?
Yeah. No one
suggests leaving until like the murder's already been inside the house, so you know the car's not gonna work.
They also, I feel like they don't suggest leaving ever, and they're like, we gotta kill this thing.
For sure. They're like, the only time they're like trying to leave is when they're like, that car looks pretty broken, but maybe I can like hotwire it.
Oh my god. That is so true.
But yeah, I mean, there's a million tropes out there. You guys know. If you've watched any movie, every movie has tropes, but scary movie ones are so easily like pinpointed that
we didn't even get to some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's so many more that are not even on our list. We just like wrote down the most prevalent ones and the ones that we wanted to talk about the most. But we didn't even talk about possession.
For sure.
And we didn't talk about how the woman's always possessed.
For sure.
I mean, there's plenty we didn't talk about that we will talk about in future episodes.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, our time is up.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed all of our scary movie tropes.
And the first a roasted and ghosted episode.
Yeah, if you have anything you want roasted, if you have someone you're trying to ghost, like, let us know. We'll talk shit about them. They don't have to listen.
Or they can.
They can.
They don't know me. I'm under the sheets.
Sheet. I'm sheeted.
For now.
I'm sheet-faced.
Oh.
Okay. Let us know. Write into ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on essentially any social media. We're on Reddit. We're on TikTok. We are on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead and message us. Please like and follow. That really helps out the show a lot. I know we're just starting out, but it does help.
Yeah, if you liked it, if you laughed, like it. If you didn't laugh, also like it, because you spent enough time listening to us.
How'd you guys like that intro?
Yeah! Oh my god! Quick shout out to Tony and his brother Elliot for making the sickest intro. Very...
Lizzie McGuire, but like the scariest episode.
He took that prompt that Tamara gave him and ran with it, and I love it. I love it. We love him.
That's basically the essence of our show, don't you guys think? Like the scariest episode of Lizzie McGuire. It never gets too scary. Although,
right, like if you were watching it at like midnight in your room, you're gonna be like, "Ooh, I'm a little scared."
I was gonna say, after this, we are going to be doing a ghost story segment called Ghouls Being Ghouls.
Yes.
Which is why we're asking for you guys' scary stories. But then the episode after that, because we do have 4 different types of episodes, is an adventure episode. Yes. And we are going to be spending the night in the Congress Hotel in downtown Chicago.
Yeah. So we'll tell you all about the Congress Hotel in a couple episodes, just the hauntings, the ghosts, the ghouls, everything.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a taste of our Halloween special.
For sure. So what we're doing for you is putting ourselves in danger.
I'm going to enjoy myself.
I will clarify, we are still not busting any ghosts. Congress has not asked us to come here. They'll probably ask us to leave, honestly.
I'm just like viewing the ghosts.
I'm just like walking around and seeing if I get nauseous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the chills.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything.
No, I'm not hoping for it. I hope it's a really like boring episode.
Yeah. But we want to give anything away. So
for sure. But yeah, thanks for listening
and spilling the ghoul beans. See you next time.